All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna and welcome everybody to the Sunday program. It's a beautiful day outside. I was just distributing books. Didn't feel like interrupting. It was so ecstatic. People were in the mood of Diwali, taking so many books and prasad and giving donations like this. But we interrupt one service to do more service. There's more ecstasy. So I'm so honored to be able to speak. So many senior devotees here. So much can be said this month. So many pastimes happened this month. Both Krishna's pastimes and Lord Ram also performed so many pastimes. And this week, today, Diwali, and coming days, basically it's called Nityotsava. Nityotsava means it's, Krishna consciousness is one festival after another. So, first I wanted to start with what Srila Prabhupada said about Diwali. Now we call it Diwali, but the original was Deepavali. Deepa's lamp. Bali means many. So Srila Prabhupada explained how Lord Rama went to Sri Lanka to kill this demon, Ravana. He had 10-headed demon, kidnapped goddess of fortune Sita. And Lord Rama went and fought with Ravana, and then for so many years, for 14 years, in kingdom of Lord Rama, nobody celebrated anything because they were in the mood of separation. Krishna consciousness, basically if you see throughout all the pastimes, there is this separation. So Lord Rama went in separation from goddess of fortune Sita to go and bring her back. But in the meantime, all the citizens of Ayodhya, they were in separation. So, nobody decorated their homes with lamps and flowers and like this. So when Lord Rama was successful in fighting with Ravana, and Ravana had this vimana. Everybody's familiar with this vimana, like this airplane. Not the airplane that we know, this fits, a few hundred people, but this is called Pushpak Vimana. This is a mystic airplane. And it can fit unlimited motion. And it had cities inside, like high rises and streets and so on and so forth. So Lord Rama was coming back, and to welcome him, and all the citizens, they lit up many lamps. Nowadays you can also see from the satellite, the Google Maps, they post pictures what India looks like on Diwali. The whole country looks lit up. So, what to speak of when Ram was coming back, they lit up the whole kingdom of Ayodhya. So, it was a big celebration. So Srila Prabhupada said, in our temples we light lamps and distribute prasad, sweets, and of course chanting. Like that. This is what Srila Prabhupada said about Deepavali. So on this day, on the day of Deepavali is the day that the Damodar pastime happened, where Mother Yashoda bound Krishna to the wooden grinding mortar. And somebody was asking me like, okay, we say, Yashoda, Damodar, we worship, we sing. We also hear so much about, Radha Damodar. There's actually these deities in Gita Nagari called Radha Damodar. So what is Damodar has to do with Radha? Because, Mother Yashoda bound baby Krishna to a wooden grinding mortar. This esoteric pastimes also is there, how the gopis, the cowherd girlfriends of Krishna, they also bound Krishna with their cloth. So, belly is called Udara, and Dama means rope or, the cloth. So that's also there. There's, because Krishna was bound by the gopis' love, that's also called Radha Damodar. So on this day, Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda, and also Krishna killed this demon called Narakasura. And Krishna also killed Sankhachura, which is another demon that Krishna killed on this day. And tomorrow we worship Govardhan Hill. It's a Govardhan Puja. It happened in this month. And earlier we celebrated the appearance of Radha Kunda. And like this month there were so many festivals related to Krishna. And in the end of the month there is the very important festival, Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. the day that Srila Prabhupada left this world after doing so many wonderful services. And this month also, just like we discussed, Lord Rama, Diwali. So this month, Lord Rama came back on Diwali to Ayodhya, and also Dasera happened, the day that Lord Rama killed Ravana, like this, so many festivals. So many, yesterday I met one man in the book table. He was Indian, but he's, from Catholic, from Goa. So he didn't know much, but he was confused. So he said, what is this Diwali about anyways? Because India is so variegated, it's so, even within India there's so many differences, but everybody is united through Krishna consciousness. So this man was saying, some people in Bengal, they say Diwali means this, in Gujarat they say Diwali means this, in South India they say Diwali means this. So he was asking me like this. So I was explaining to him how, different people celebrate Diwali for different reasons. We can, celebrate this week, this day, as a celebration for the devatas, for demigods. Durga Puja, some people, do all kinds of offerings. But Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that, the demigods, the devatas, are actually in charge of the external energy. They are the antavantu alam desam tad bhavati alpameta. Krishna explains in the Gita that those who are attracted to glittering temporary material things, then they go to the demigods asking for things which are temporary, which will be taken away from us. So Krishna says the demigods are in charge of the external energy of the material world. Just like, like we try to, if somebody is in a prison and they're trying to make friends with the prison guards or something. So the best thing to do is to get out of the prison, not to stay there comfortably, whatever they do in the prison, making number plates and breaking rocks and making loving dealings with the guards. That's not very clever. There are some prisoners, they're very clever, they're called, in-house lawyers or something like that, where they study how to get out of the prison. Prisoners basically become lawyers and they plead and they try to get out of the prison, which is like us. So the demigods, Krishna says, don't try to feel comfortable in this material world and offering all kinds of worship and getting things in return which is temporary. Krishna says we should get out of the material world. This is actually not our home. Any place, like Prahlad told Prahlad told Hiranyakashipu's dad, his dad Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad said, my dear father, let me tell you something. Anyone thinks that the body to be the self and this material world to be home, their home, such a person, Prahlad says, will be saturated with anxiety. Because the body is not the self, the soul is us. The body is just an external shell. Similarly, this world is temporary. Krishna says, is dukhalem ashashvatam. This is not our home. Our real home is Vaikuntha. Kunta means a place of anxiety. And Vaikuntha means a place where there is no anxiety. So Krishna is encouraging us, get out of here. Don't stay here. It's not. That's only people with knowledge will understand this. Like the true story when the tsunami hit South India in my hometown in Chennai. The water went back receding, and for the first time, all the people in the beach, they get to see all the glittering bangles and dead fish and whatever they see, oyster shells. And they were all excited. They were running to get these things. They were fighting for it. And there was one scientist there. He was like screaming. He said, "Tsunami, tsunami." He was running the opposite direction. And everybody thought this is a foolish man. He doesn't know, how to be successful in life. He's running away from the real world. But he was the only one that survived. Everybody got washed away. So, one reason is people want to celebrate these holidays as an offering to the demigods to get things in return. And, and some people, they have no idea what is celebration anyways. Just like Christmas or any major festival nowadays. It's just, you talk to anyone, Halloween or this and that, Christmas, Diwali. It's just, people just think it means going to the movies and eating out, and, drinking and whatever people do. They think, just leave it at that. Why to think too much about the festivals? Nobody talks about, possibly, maybe I could be wrong, but in all of Georgia, I don't think any other temple, they sit down and they take 1 hour window to discuss philosophy on Diwali. What is Diwali about? It doesn't happen. So many children, so many people we meet, they just don't have any idea, any philosophy. Like every day when you set up book table, I set up bookstall here and there, Patel's Global Mall. It's like you're putting yourself in the front line to be attacked by all kinds of nonsense philosophy. Like people, have so much misunderstanding. This book, most famous book, also the most misunderstood book. All of a sudden somebody will come to me and start giving me lecture, what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Rasa Leela, what is spiritual life. Just as I was packing, one man came and he seemed interested in the beginning, and then he started telling me like, "Oh, let me tell you, the goal of spiritual life is stillness. That is the real goal of stillness." And he's got so many kids and his wife is pulling him. He said, "How are you going to be still, man? You're bombarded in all directions. You're basically just being told by your wife and kids what to do every minute. How are you going to attain stillness?" I said, "Krishna, you didn't teach stillness to Arjuna. Arjuna, here is a nice ganja, special pot, weed. You have a smoke and you take a nap in the back and be still. I will do all the work for you." That's not the message of Bhagavad Gita, to be still. Arjuna was active, Arjuna was fighting like anything. It's not like Hanuman, the hero of the Ramayana. Hanuman was sitting still somewhere in the mountain. He was working hard. Throughout history we see how, there's no question of still. So this man come to give me lecture about how spiritual life is stillness. And another man, the other day I was speaking someplace, and after hearing a whole hour lecture, this man comes to me in the dinner and says like, "Oh, in the Vedas there is nowhere Krishna's name is mentioned. How come you say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead?" So this guy is going to give me indigestion, it's not the person to eat dinner with. So I asked him, "Have you read the Vedas?" He said, "No." I said, "Then How are you so authoritatively telling me this? No, every word, every syllable Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said of the Vedas, of the Bhagavatam is talking about Krishna. How come you're telling me that there's nowhere in the Vedas is mentioned? Are we reading the same Vedas or? So this, this is the kind of thing people don't have idea. What is Diwali? What is festival? What is, ordinary people. But in Krishna consciousness, we celebrate festivals with understanding. Like Krishna told Nanda Maharaj was worshipping Indra for rains and for prosperity. And Krishna was telling him, like, why are you worshipping Indra for? That's the festival tomorrow, the Govardhan Puja. I don't want to spoil it for the next speaker. But then, Nanda Maharaj thought, this is a little boy, Krishna is talkative, what can I explain to him? And Nanda Maharaj told him, this is our tradition, my child, this is what we do. Krishna said, you don't even know what you're doing? And Krishna told him, those who know what they are doing and why they are doing, they will get full benefit. If you're just doing because he said that, she said that, you will not get any benefit. Like the story, there was a wedding going on, and there was a kitten running around creating disturbance. So the priest grabbed the kitten and covered it with a basket. And then it became a tradition. Every wedding they're like, oh, we need to get a kitten and cover it under a basket. Because that's what the priests do. But that's what the wedding is about. It's like, how did that start? Like the Vedas, he said that, she said that. But in Krishna consciousness, we try to do everything with knowledge. That's the name, like in Sanskrit and Hindi, the temple is actually called mandir. Man means the mind, and dira means a sober person. So a place where you go to become sober, to steady your mind, that's called mandira. Just like you say the word mantra. Man again means mind, and tra means deliverance or freedom. So the sound vibration that frees the mind from anxiety, and that's called mantra. So Srila Prabhupada wanted this, that when people come to temple, they should hear some philosophy, they should learn something. We should leave with some message, some wisdom. Not like the priest have no idea what he is doing, and people that go to the temple have no idea what they're going for, and it's just that way we don't make much spiritual advancement. So Srila Prabhupada said in our temples, he made it like this, that people come, they should hear the philosophy. And you will see every occasion, whether something sad happened, something wonderful happened, some festivities, we do the same thing. Over and over, practically any excuse. To chant the Hare Krishna mantra, to read the books, and to take prasad. Prasad is, like Prabhupada said, that nobody likes to argue against samosa. Philosophy is hard to digest, but people love samosa and gulab jamun. So this way, any excuse we take the opportunity to discuss Krishna philosophy, chant Krishna's name. Why? It's not sentiment, it's out of knowledge. Like that when Prabhupada was speaking one time on the pastime of Ajamil, there was this really materialistic, sinful person. All life he was just, forgot about Krishna. He was actually from a pious Brahmin family, and he was trained nicely, but then he fell in love with this materialistic lady, and he forgot all about Krishna consciousness. So he was having a small little boy in his old age, he was really old, still he had a little boy, and Krishna inspired him to name the child as Narayana. So the messengers of death, time, we forget about time, but time don't forget about us. One fine day, the messengers of death came and he saw them and he freaked out. How ugly and how fearsome they looked, and he didn't expect that. In the scientific field, they call them terminal restlessness. The doctors and nurses, they have a terminology called terminal restlessness, where like dying people, they're freaking out. They think, oh, this is just a process that people go before death, just give them more morphine or something. But they're seeing something that the others are not seeing. Anyway, I didn't mean to scare anyone, but when they saw when Ajamil saw these messengers of death, he started screaming for his child, Narayan, Narayan. Because whatever we are attached to, that's what comes out when we are helpless. Like one of my friends, he told me, nice devotee, he was riding motorcycle in India, and he slipped, and then he went under a truck, like 16-wheeler or something like that. But luckily nothing happened. He just skipped through and came out the other way, nothing untouched. So I asked him, you must have screamed Krishna, Krishna, right? And he goes, no, my baby and my wife came in my mind. Of course, if the baby and wife are devotees, then it's also wonderful. But it's natural, whoever we are attached to, when we are helpless, that's what is going to come out. So Prabhupada was asking one of his disciples to read the translation before Prabhupada gave a lecture on this subject. And the disciple said, when Ajamil saw the messengers of death, he screamed, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. And Prabhupada said, oh, 3 times? It's there only 1 time. So you don't need 3 times. 1 name is enough, Prabhupada said. Well, the translation just say 1 time Narayana, but somehow the Sanskrit says Narayana once, and then the disciple read it, some typo, whatever reason, they put it 3 times. But 1 name is enough. Krishna's name is so powerful. 1 time chanting Narayana is enough. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sing and dance the names of Krishna every opportunity he got. So there was this impersonalist sannyasi, Prakasananda Saraswati. He was a Mayavadi, dry philosopher, like reading books, all the time. There's no juice. So he was surprised that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taken sannyas, and he is not coming to read the books with him. So he called for a meeting. He called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come, and I want to discuss with you what's wrong with you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us by example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet this Prakasananda Saraswati. But he was so humble, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so humble. It's not he just taught, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saisnunapi, humbler than blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. He was practicing, teaching by example. So he went and basically sat down where they wash the feet, like in our modern terms, like where the shoe rack is. And then Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya was so effulgent, like thousands of suns. That's the goal of the Mayavadi philosophers. They want to merge with the energy of God, with the light of God. So he was practically showing them their goal. They were all like shocked. They said, oh, you look like Narayan himself. And Mahaprabhu closed his ears. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Again, we're showing example. Even though he's God himself, he took a humble role. When they addressed him as God, he closed his ears and said, it's actually very sinful to compare a human being with God. That's an offense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it's the greatest offense to consider an ordinary human, even though he was not, into Vishnu. It's not, it's not a cheap thing. Nowadays it's become like a cheap thing, everybody dresses up like a clown and comes in the social media and claims to be God, and foolish people, because they don't know who's God, they also think maybe he is. But they, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't approve that. Then they begged him, please, and they gave him a nice seat. And then they sat him down and said, you look so effulgent and you're so beautiful and you're a sannyasi. You're in the renounced order of life. Why don't you come and read the books with us? Why are you just sentimentally singing and dancing? And Lord Chaitanya said, Guru more murkha deki karila sasan. He said, my spiritual master called me a fool and told me that you will never be able to understand these Vedanta. Just chant Hare Krishna. Therefore, I'm just chanting Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not a fool, but taking the role of modern people where we don't have time, we don't have concentration, then they say it's very hard. Even my Guru was saying, my Guru Maharaj was mentioning in one lecture, compared to his time, in the 70s, people would receive a Bhagavad Gita on the street from a book distributor, and they'll sit down in a park bench or somewhere. They'll just read the whole book cover to cover, and they show up in the temple and said, I want to serve Krishna. I want to give my life to Krishna, sign me up. Nowadays, you give them Bhagavad Gita, 6 months later they come, how do you read this book? How do you read such a big book? And my Guru jokingly says, you see this beginning? You open here and you keep reading till you come to the end. Because they have this thing, library genie. You close your eyes and you open the book to some random section and, bingo, like Krishna is speaking in that sloka. So our concentration is not good. We don't have time. Everything is going against us in Kali Yuga. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the role of us, said, just chant Hare Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being a good disciple, he was trembling in ecstasies whenever he chanted the names of Krishna. He was feeling love of God, Mahabhava. And then he went to his Guru and he said, oh Guru Maharaj, I don't know what mantra you gave me. His family was even rubbing Vishnu oil on his head to cool him down, thinking he's going, something happened to my son. So he went to his spiritual master and said, Guru Maharaj, I don't know what mantra you gave me, I'm just going mad. And the Guru said, oh my dear child, you have attained perfection of life, this is wonderful, you're feeling this symptom. Even though it's God himself, he's checking back with the spiritual master, taking the humble role, just to confirm, that I'm feeling like this, not like now that, I'm an advanced devotee, I know better than my spiritual master, I know better than other devotees. That's the beginner's mentality. The advanced devotee always feels like, I'm just nobody, I'm just insignificant. Like Haridas Thakur, he wanted to leave the world. Namacharya Haridas, there is this devotee, a Brahma, actually appeared as Haridas, and in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, and Haridas would chant practically 24 hours a day. Anyway, he wanted to leave the world because he knows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to end this earthly pastime. So he asked Lord Chaitanya, can I beg you a favor? Can you please let me go? Before you end the pastime, earthly pastime, I want to go. Lord Chaitanya said, how will I live without you? How will I exist? And Haridas said, oh, stop your joking words. I'm just nobody. What is the loss if an ant dies, he says. Who cares if so many ants are dying all over the place? So Haridas said, I'm just like an ant. What is the loss if I die before you? So this is the mood of a devotee. And this month is actually under the shelter, under the energy of Srimati Radharani, this month of Damodar month, Kartik month. And same Srimati Radharani appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give us Krishna consciousness. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Naya Anya. Lord Krishna appeared in this Kali Yuga 500 years ago. Krishna appears once in 8 billion years. So Prabhupada would say he appeared just recently 500 years ago. This is Krishna, but not Krishna in complexion. Krishna appearing in the complexion of Radharani was golden, and in the mood of the mother Radharani to give us Krishna consciousness freely. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one time he was speaking during a flood in Calcutta. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was taking that opportunity to speak. He said, imagine you're in a Mahapralaya. Imagine you're in the final devastation. You know, people have all kinds of theory, earth is going to end, this and that. Not really. There's thousands and thousands of years to go before that happened. Anyway, the devastation at the end, final devastation. You know, there will be like a flood, Mahapralaya. And if you're swimming in the Mahapralaya and you're allowed to carry 3 books, Bhaktisiddhanta said. One is Gita, one is Bhagavatam, and one Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita, pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So he said, you're swimming, you're struggling, you're swimming with these 3 books, and it gets really difficult, and you have to let go one book. Okay, let go of Gita. And you're swimming, struggling again. You're spitting water. And unfortunately, you have to let go another book. He said, okay, let go of Bhagavatam. But, he said, never let go of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because so many information, even that's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, not completely, there's only hints of confidential pastime. Sukadeva Goswami didn't even dare to say Radharani's name because he would just go into trance and then the speaking would be interrupted. So he's just hinting. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the offenses are removed because we are approaching through Panchatattva, and so much esoteric is the topmost book, most esoteric book. It's also most approachable because we are approaching through Panchatattva. We are actually able to understand. So this is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also same Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to tell his disciples that the mind is a non-devotee. That's, that's a beautiful statement. We can live by that, we can remember. If we feel all of a sudden attacked, it's because the mind is basically a non-devotee. Arjuna said the same thing to Krishna. Sanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam. Arjuna said to Krishna, this kind of yoga system you're prescribing is not possible. Because to control the mind, pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manya vayur eva sudaskaram. He said the mind is mad. And it's very powerful. And it's trying to control, the mind is like trying to control the gushing wind. So Arjuna rejected this philosophy of yoga, meditation. And Krishna also said the same thing so much about the mind. The mind can be our best friend or worst enemy. If we don't control the mind, it's like living with a crazy roommate, living with some powerful mad person. So the mind can disturb us like anything. It can make hell out of for no reason. There is this example given how, there was one guy walking by and he saw his close friend, and the friend didn't see him. But the friend had a busy day, just didn't notice him. And then he thought, oh, I see how it goes. This guy, he wants to ignore me, he doesn't want to be my friend. That's fine. So be it. I also don't care for him. Who does he think he is? On and on and on. I know things about him, what he did. On and on it goes. And then he sees this friend, the friend comes to hug, and then he's all like stiff. And then the guy is like, what's wrong with you? He says, you ignored me the other day, now you come like everything is okay. And the friend says, I ignored you the other day, I didn't see you, for God's sake. But the whole time he's fuming, he's concocting, he came to conclusion like, this person doesn't like me. This is the nature of mind. Another guy is riding, say, a train. And then he sees a beautiful girl standing nearby. And then the train is so crowded, he closes his eyes and he starts imagining about the girl. It's like, oh my God, she was so beautiful. She's so beautiful. She looked at me like favorably. Maybe we'll get married. We'll have a nice family. She's in love. And some other guy is touching him and he thinks, oh my God, she's even very close to me now. She's touching me. After a hard day at work, I can't believe the day turned out to be so beautiful. He opens his eyes and the girl is long gone. She's hopped off in another stop and he's just standing next to a fat guy. It's just that the mind is concocting all the time, this and that and this and that. So that's why it says, senior devotees, they told me like this, they said, don't assume anything and don't take anything personally. Always give the benefit of doubt, especially when you're dealing with devotees, when you're dealing with Vaishnavas. You should always think, maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's just my own imagination. That way we can have sweet relationship. Like Prabhupada said about Gandhi. Gandhi and his wife, they had a fight. And then she said, okay, I'm leaving. And then he also said, okay, go, no problem. So sometime later, Gandhi stepped out of the house and she was sitting there outside. And he's like, oh, you're still here? And she's like, where will I go? I have nowhere to go. I'm married to you. He goes, oh, okay, forget it. Come back here. It was like a small thing, But the nature of the mind, that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the mind is a non-devotee. But by hearing and chanting about Krishna, what happens is we purify the mind. Because the purified mind means we like to serve. We are always looking for opportunity to serve. Because if you want to serve, the whole world is open. You can go anywhere and you'll be welcome. Because the nature of the world is everybody wants to be served. 7 billion people competing to be the center of attraction and wanting to be served, and they think they're everything. That's why we have the world like we have today. Over small disagreement, they're willing to throw nuclear weapons on each other. But there is like dog and cat mentality. You put a few different breeds of dog in a room. How do you expect peace? There is doggish mentality. It's not human. It's like fancy statements like love your neighbor, this and that. But it's all conditioned. The neighbor looks like me, I love my neighbor. The neighbor is same color as me, I love my neighbor. The same village as me, I love my neighbor. And if it's a human, I love my neighbor. So this way it's all like conditioned. But a devotee, is really the one that's on the Brahma Bhuta platform, on the spiritual platform. We understand everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna. And we want to serve. We want to be of service. And there's also another statement, very powerful. That is, that we live to be corrected. As a materialistic person, we live to correct others. But as a devotee, we live to be corrected whenever we get valuable guidance. We take because, like one time, Govinda Dasi Mataji, Prabhupada was telling her something and she said, "Oh, I didn't know that." And Prabhupada said, "You don't know everything. There's many things that you don't know." So, sometimes we have this mood like, "Oh, I know everything. I never heard this before," but there's so many things we don't know. That's why devotee lives to be corrected. So by hearing pastimes about Krishna, then it's like scrubbing the dirty heart, the dirty mind. Because internally we have this fever, we have temperature. We have Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Like we have lust, greed, anger, envy, pride, illusion, so many qualities. And we identify ourselves with these external material qualities, and we are afraid to let it go. Like some trying to take off a band-aid in a hairy arm. Like, it's like so painful. The grip of a bandage is stuck to the hair. Like that we want to hold on to the anarthas, the bad quality. But by hearing Krishna pastimes, we are cleansing, just like when we take shower, we're cleansing outside. When we hear Krishna's pastimes, we're cleaning the mind, we're cleaning the heart. So, on this, I'm almost at the end of my time, I'm talking so much even before I came to the actual class. Anyways, we know Damodar pastimes, how Mother Yashoda, Krishna was very naughty, and she wanted. Actually, in the Bible, it says, "Thy will shall be done." Jesus Christ was speaking to his Father, "Whatever your will is, my Lord, so be it. My will is..." That's what becoming one with God means. Not like you become merged with God and you disappear. But one with God means we have the same desire as God. Whatever Krishna wants, whatever God wants, we are in harmony with that. So Mother Yashoda was churning butter from the special milk. Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. Out of the 900,000 cows, she selected 9 cows. They called Padma cows. And the milk is so fragrant like lotus flowers. And she carefully was churning butter that she got from the milk. And Krishna was sleeping. And she was crying in separation from her child who was sleeping next door. So Krishna woke up. Krishna woke up and came and held her churning rod. I want milk now. Forget about your churning and all this thing. My will, this is what I want. But Mother Yashoda, so you put everything aside and you do what Krishna wants. And that's such a beautiful lesson. There's so many lessons we can learn just from the Damodar pastime. And in Damodar Leela, in Ishopanishad, we read how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is impossible to catch. How can you catch the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even the yogis, after thousands of years of yoga asanas, the jnanis, after reading books and giving in charity, still you cannot approach the Supreme. But Krishna, out of love for his devotees, is running around in his devotees' household. And Mother Yashoda ran after him because he was performing so many mischievous activities. Because when the milk boiled in the kitchen, Mother Yashoda was giving him breast milk, she put him down and Krishna got upset. Took a rock and broke the pot she was churning butter and ran away. When Mother Yashoda came back, she saw this the flood of ocean of cream everywhere and Krishna's footprints leading into another room. And then Mother Yashoda went behind Krishna because he was climbing on the wooden grinding mortar, grabbing more butter and feeding it to the monkeys and crows. And she said, it's enough, I have to tie him. So she's running. She's running after Krishna, not the yogis, nobody can capture him. And then finally she captures him. And then she wanted to tie him to the grinding mortar. And even though she was able to put a belt around Krishna's waist previously, but this time she was trying to tie, but mystically the rope, no matter how much rope she got, it was 2 fingers too short. She was not able to do it. And she was trying. Finally she was able to do it. So Krishna, the Acharyas explained that sometimes Krishna likes to see his devotees perspire. You have to sweat before you can have Krishna. So finally, Mother Yashoda ties him to the, finally she was able to capture. And the rope was not ordinary rope, but the ropes of love, Bhakti Bandham. She was able to capture him and tie him. And also on Diwali, Krishna killed this demon, Narakasura. Also another name for him is Bhaumasura. When Krishna lifted the earth, rescued the earth when Hiranyaksha pushed it down, it took so much gold from the earth and it fell off. So when Varahadev contacted Bhumi Devi, then this son was born, Naraka. Even though he was the Supreme Personality of God's offspring, you would think, son of God, so saintly like this. No, because he was associating with Banasura, he became so demoniac. So demoniac that, Krishna doesn't excuse. Even if you're your own child of Krishna, if you're offending devotees and misbehaving. So this Narakasura was doing all kinds of atrocities. One time, this Narakasura captured 16,000 beautiful princesses from different kingdoms, and he kept them captive. So Krishna went to release them, and there was a big fight. There was a demon called Mura. He was, watching over, guarding this prison where the queens were kept. So Krishna went with Satyabhama and killed all of them and rescued the princesses, queens. And they all begged Krishna. In Vedic culture, you're kidnapped by a demon and you're taken away from home and you spend many days under this demon's subjugation, then nobody will marry you. So these queens, they beg to Krishna, we are your devotees, we have nowhere to go practically. Krishna says, okay, no problem, I will marry you all. So sometimes again we meet people on the street, how can God marry 16,000? Mythology. Prabhupada would say it's not mythology. If Krishna can marry 16 trillion women, still not enough. He's the source of everything, he's the most powerful. Just because, I'm not able to handle one woman, doesn't mean God can't. Nobody can. So Krishna agreed. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna claims, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwara. I am the proprietor and owner of everything. In other words, we are like for example, like when people say, how can God marry so many women? Every woman is actually God's property. So we are actually the thief. Not like God stole woman. We are, that's why like in Krishna consciousness, whether it's our husband or wife or children or any devotee, we see them that this is Krishna's property. So Krishna didn't steal butter, Krishna didn't steal woman. No, everything belongs to him. How can you steal something that's yours in the first place anyways? When we give back whatever we own to Krishna, then we are becoming less guilty. Otherwise, Prabhupada would say, you're just a thief. Like one time when a businessman came, he owned a glass manufacturing company. And Prabhupada said, and the man said, oh, I gave so much, I'm giving so much to your movement. Prabhupada said, where is glass coming from? Prabhupada's a scientist, he knows even how glass is made. Prabhupada said, the man said like this, like this, like this. Prabhupada said, basically you take all of Krishna's ingredients and you make glass. And you sell and you keep all the money and you're giving a little bit to Krishna. Prabhupada said, you're a thief. So Prabhupada told him, Krishna is not seeing what you're giving. Krishna is seeing how much you're holding back. So Prabhupada asked him, when are you going to give back everything to Krishna? That way you will feel less ready. Another man came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I have so much money, but I cannot sleep. I have no peace of mind. Prabhupada said, give us all the money and you will be able to sleep peacefully. You will know how to spend everything for Krishna. And the man was shocked. Prabhupada would boldly ask, Prabhupada had a vision, everything belongs to Krishna. He was not shy. Like the Fisher mansion in Detroit. The owner wanted like $500,000. Prabhupada said, we are professional beggars. Why don't you just donate it to us? We have no money. The guy almost had a heart attack. He had to sit down, this owner. So Prabhupada would say like that. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. So when we hear this kind of philosophy, then it becomes natural for us to become devotees of Krishna. And when we offer lamb this month we offer lambs for Diwali, for Damodar, like this. The Acharyas explain that the lamp should be a lamp of love. Because Krishna doesn't care for a little lamp. How can you, it's like offer a lamp to the sun, which is the source of all heat and light. It's like millions of times brighter than the little lamp. So similarly, Krishna is pleased if we offer this lamp of love. And the main ingredient in the lamp is the ghee, or in South India we use sesame oil. So the hearing and chanting is compared to that ghee, most important ingredient that keeps the flame alive. So if we offer the lamp of love, fueled by hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna, then Krishna says that our heart will be lit up. We'll be able to see. There will be illumination in our dark heart. Otherwise, we can't even see. We're talking so much deep philosophy, but ordinarily speaking, we don't even understand we're not the body. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, we didn't know that we're not the body, and this is not our home, and this is material world, and there's demigods, and there's higher planet. We didn't know anything. We were just, just like animal platform. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maitunam cha, Samanyam etat pasubhi narana. Bhagavatam says 4 things common between all species. They eat, we eat. They sleep, we sleep. They have sex, we have sex. They defend with nails and claws. We have atomic weapons. But the thing is the same. we're polished animals, but the main intelligence is given so we can understand higher subject matters. So therefore, Prabhupada wanted that we distribute these books. Sometimes any Iskcon temple you go, I was wondering why they always promoting this book. Any stall, everywhere, any mela, there's always Iskcon people selling books. Why? Because, these books contain, like one of our teachers, he was mentioning, he was sitting with another devotee in Vrindavan, Vaisheshika Prabhu was mentioning. He was sitting in a room in Vrindavan, where Krishna's birthplace, and thousands and thousands and thousands of devotees are coming from all over the world. So this other devotee asked Vaisheshika, where are they all coming from? There's like no limit, because Vrindavan is small. Thousands and thousands of devotees pouring in. And Vaisheshika Prabhu said, they're all coming from Prabhupada's pen. Anybody read even a page, Prabhupada said, therefore I'm asking, stressing, where is book, where is book, where is... Prabhupada said, anybody read a paragraph, anybody even read a line, a word, even a letter, Prabhupada said, these books will transform the heart. That's what we need. We need actual practical transformation of heart. We don't need some Hindu belief or Christian belief or Muslim belief and year after year doing the same thing. No, we want to grow, we want to become enlightened. And that's these books will do. The Vedic, I'll end with this last point. In the Vedic culture, if you're a student, no matter who you are, even if you're Krishna and Balaram, they went to the forest to carry firewood for the Guru. So in this modern age, we are carrying books. It's also made of wood on behalf of the spiritual master, and we distribute them. The greatest gift you can give anyone. You can give sweets for Diwali, but most people have diabetes and this and that, can't even eat sweets. But you give somebody this knowledge, they will become actually truly happy. Because modern happiness is materialistic. Everybody is working so hard. Dog is home enjoying, the owners are at work paying the mortgage. But this is not happiness. Real happiness is happiness of the soul. When you connect with Krishna, when we sit down, hear about Krishna, when we offer lamp to Krishna, when we sing about Krishna, we associate with Krishna's devotee, we take prasad. This is happiness and it's free, and you can have it in your own home. Wherever we are, even in the freeway, traffic jam, you can chant Krishna's name and you feel happy. The shower you can sing, an exam, before exam you can sing, no matter what. This holy name is always accessible in Kali Yuga. What a great benediction. So I'll end here. Thank you all so much. Happy Diwali again. Unless anybody have, do I have time to take a question?
Take one, two questions.
Anybody have a question or comment? Any senior devotee? Yes, Mata.
Thank you for the class. When you said that Srila Prabhupada was birthplace in Vrindavan, I thought Srila Prabhupada was born in Calcutta.
Maybe I made a mistake. I meant to say Krishna's birthplace is Vrindavan. They were sitting in Prabhupada's room in Vrindavan. Prabhupada had a room where he would work from when he would visit Vrindavan. So these devotees were sitting in Vrindavan in Prabhupada's room and they were discussing. Yes, Prabhu.
When we sing this bhakti, the first word they say Kiba, Jaya Jaya. What is the meaning of Kiba?
Well, my Bengali is not so great, we have to ask someone. He's asking what is the meaning of Kiba in the Gaura Arati.
You can say like people say, hey, how are you? Like this Kiva, pay attention.
Did you hear?
Yes.
Thank you.
Tone at the
Yes, Mother.
I want to say the kiba means this wonderful. Another way, when you have assembly and when you have all glorify with the God, this is kiba is like a wonder. Like a wonderful and wonder, like a very attractive thing.
Yes, Mother.
Prabhu, I don't want to take up too much time, but in short, if you can give us some tip about distributing books nicely.
Distributing books?
How to convince sometimes people to take a book.
She's asking how to convince people to take a book. I'm noticing more and more the way the world is going. You just display the books and sit behind, and you have a lot of customers. Really, the world, everybody's stressed out. And you sitting peacefully chanting japa, and you're smiling, and they're like, either they become envious of you or they have to join in, Prabhupada said. You know, the one time one man was actually mad at me during recession. I went up to him and said, how dare you come with a smile? You know what I'm going through? I said, I know what you're going through. These books will help you. He said, okay. People, you know, the way everybody, students, family, professional, everybody's stressed out. So, the more you show, the more you sell. So we just have to be outside and have a nice display, visual, signs, prasad, and be friendly and greet. People are curious. Just now in 2 hours, we distributed 40 books.
Arriba!
They didn't want to stop. The weather was like so beautiful and so many people are taking books and giving donations. It was like painful to stop, but to have your association was all worth it. Thank you so much. Namo Tata Ki Jai.
I want to today's Sunday sponsor, Shrikant Vaidanath. Are you here? Please come up to the help. Also, would like to thank His Grace Shastrakrit Prabhu for giving a wonderful Sunday feast lectures. So let's get a big Haribol for Shastrakrit Prabhu. Haribol.
We can make 2 lines, one for man and one for Mataji. So Mataji can form line this other side and this side.
They feast every next second month. Haribol. So we'd like to also thank Ramanujan family for giving $51 donation for the ghee lamp for the Damodar Ashtakam here. So let's give Haribol. So if anybody wants to also do this seva to Radha Damodar for one whole week, if you want to offer a ghee lamp to Radha Damodar, you can come and send me. It's only $51 donations. This is a nice service to Lord Damodar for this month. Until 12th of November. So if you want to host any devotees to come to your home and offer and do this Damodar Ashtakam, Damodar prayers, you can come and see me, or you can also see Shati Pran Gaur Prabhu, or you can see Santosh Chaitanya Prabhu. So this is a very nice service that temple is doing. Every year we do this. I know in Malaysia, they do 300 home programs just within this month of Damodar.
More than 1,000.
Thousands? Okay, more than 1,000. But before I heard it was 300. But anyway, so it's very nice. So the temple is doing the seva to all of you if you want. Anybody wants to host a program for Damodar, still there are some dates are pending. There are some dates are open, so you can come and see me. I'll be sitting right outside the temple, book table. And you know, tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Govardhan Puja. Jai Giriraj Govardhan ki. Jai Giriraj Maharaj ki. So tomorrow, 6 p.m., we'll have Arati. There will be a nice Arati called Govardhan. And 6:30 p.m. there will be a glorious of Govardhan Puja. How the Govardhan hill actually appeared in this world. There will be glorification of Govardhan pastimes by Siddhi Maiti Prabhu. And after the class, there will be a Govardhan hill puja. We will do a nice hill. We will make a nice hill with halwa and sweets. So we request devotees to make some preparation for Govardhan. You can make some sweets, halwa or puris or rasagullas, anything you can make and bring it. And we will offer it to Govardhan. This is a nice seva. Huh? Dry. There should be dry items. And you can bring it and we'll offer to Govardhan. But you have to have proper pots to cook because we can offer to the Lord. So if you have used onion and garlic in the pots before, don't use those pots but use the other pots. And also on the 31st of October is Prabhupada's disappearance day. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki! Srila Prabhupada is the founder and child of Iskcon, and he disappeared in November actually. So we are going to be celebrating, according to Tithis, falls on 31st October. So we will be celebrating, but we will update you the program tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We will update you the program. We will send the programs in our website and also in the WhatsApp group. So you will know what are the programs will be there. In Prabhupada disciplines, we can all come and celebrate Prabhupada disciplines. It's very nice to celebrate Prabhupada disciplines with a lot of devotees. You know, Prabhupada has done so much service for this society, for the humanity, for all over the world, by giving Krishna Bhakti and showing how the process of Bhakti devotional service to God. So we can really worship Him in His disciplines day. So please all of you come. But we will update the program in our website and also in WhatsApp. Prabhu was saying the actual day of Prabhupada disappearance is actually right after the next day of Govardhan Puja. So tomorrow is actually Govardhan Puja, but actually Prabhupada disappeared right after next day of Govardhan Puja. But because according to the calendars, the Tithi is falling on the 31st, so we'll do it on 31st October. So please all of you come, and now there will be final darshan. Chitapu, where is the prasadam will be? Outside? Okay, prasadam will be served outside. Thank you, Hare Krishna.